Back on the road for another tough
Another round.
opponent.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how it goes this time of year.
Well, it is. In the Missouri Valley, we've had, it's another really good team on the road, and I think our guys are used to being on the road now, but it's they're a very, very, very good team. They've been a national caliber team the last 4 or 5 years, and they're no different really this year. They're big and physical up front. They're good skill guys, long receivers. They're good. The front seven is really good on defense, and they got a good secondary. So we're gonna have our hands full.
Questions?
Yeah.
How do you prepare with their quarterback situation? Kind of uncertain at this point.
Yeah, well, all you can compare on. I mean, all you can prepare on is what you see on tape. Watching all the quarterbacks. We have no idea who's going to play and all that yet. So I'm sure someone's going to be playing quarterback for them, and we're going to look at their things that are their staple stuff and see what each quarterback does. But good question.
Coach, Victor Dawson's coming off 2 games in a row for rushing over 100 yards and also just won MVFC Newcomer of the Week. What do you think that does for his confidence and the entire offensive confidence going into a tough defense?
To get to your question, I think it helps him drastically. He's had 2 games in a row, and it's good. It's good. I'm sure it builds their confidence, but it's a different opponent we're playing Saturday. They're pretty good. So. Not that they're very similar to South Dakota, I'd say. I think they're very, very, very similar. Very good up front, physical, long, tough, big people. So hard to move. But I think it should help him. So.
What about last Saturday, Coach? After watching the film, I know you were. I think you were being pretty humble the other day when I talked to you, but you were pretty hot on offense. That was about as good as you could be, wasn't it?
Pretty good, it was unfortunate we didn't get the 4th down attempt on the first possession because I thought we were kind of rolling, if you remember that. But there's a penalty on the play, or no penalty on the play, but we had to, we didn't convert on 4th down, and so that would have been a very interesting, see if we could finish that drive, but. I was happy with how we played. We a little sloppy early on defense. We had a couple. We didn't have as many X plays as we've had in games. This is one of the least amount, believe it or not. But everyone went for a touchdown. So that's a little concerning. The 2 runs that were misfit, but we misfitted both runs and missed a tackle on one, I believe. And then the scramble with the quarterback scramble on the touchdown pass I think that was in the first half. We just took our eyes off our guy. It's real simple. You got to play with man eyes, and when you can't make that mistake, and it also turns into a touchdown. So, those are things I thought we'll have continue to improve on. Pad leverage always is something you preach. This time of year, because you're gonna have to move people if you're gonna want to run the football. I think the weather's gonna be fine Saturday, but still you don't never know. So you have to be able to move people, and so pad leverage and being able to get your pads over your toes and being a good platform, a good position to move people or get off the blocks on defense. That's gonna be critical this time of year. So, but all in all, pretty good, but. There's obviously some things we can get better at. Mm-hmm.
Second quarter, I'm not sure, but I think you had 28 points, in that second quarter.
I don't remember. Is that right, Mike? I don't know.
Yeah, tied the school record for most points in the second quarter.
Oh, good.
I think you were still focused on the touchdown the defense allowed.
Yeah, that really pissed me off. That's okay. We'll let that go. Yeah, I got pretty mad. Mr. Birchie there had to take the brunt of it. Stands right behind me. It was bad. So I apologize.
Coach, coming off 3 straight wins, 3 games, not allowing over 20 points. What have you liked about what you've seen from the defense late in the season?
Just taking big steps. It's the little things. You can't. It sounds really, like coach speak or redundant or stupid, but you can't play great defense if you can't tackle. you know, and if you can't get ball carriers on the ground, that's a problem. And we've really improved over the last 3 weeks, in my opinion on that. We've done a better job of separating off of blocks, what I call doing the eights, okay, ATES, the eights. You gotta separate, you gotta accelerate, and you gotta terminate the ball carrier. So you gotta separate off the blocks, accelerate to the ball, and you gotta terminate the ball carrier. So when you can do all those things, you should be pretty good at defense. And when you can't, you get stuck on blocks, and you don't have the gumption to shift gears and sprint to the football. And then if you have a poor angle on the ball and don't use correct angles and leverage on the ball, and you don't finish tackles, that's what you don't play good defense. So that's doing the eights is for us has always been, since I've been here. That's everywhere I've been as a defensive coordinator. It's been about the eights, and we're doing that a little bit better. So it's that simple. I mean, it's, on offense, you can't run the ball, you can't pass it on a perimeter without being a block. And you can't throw if you don't protect the passer. It's blocking. So it's offensive football is blocking, and defensive football is tackling. If you start with that and move from there. If you can't do those things, you're not going to be very good.
I think you had 10 different receivers catch the ball the other day, Coach. That's phenomenal, really. I guess Tommy was really good and spread it out like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I'm not sure he sits back there and thinks about that.
No, right. He just happens.
Yeah, it happens to be, but just
Yeah.
I think it's a good indicator of what we thought we were. Maybe in the preseason, and that we thought we had some depth at positions, and that we can throw it to 10 guys and feel good about that. And Dan Sopwitz came back and played some in the game, so he's got to knock some of the rust off, and so that was good. But hopefully he's even better this week. So, but he, that they were, that was quite the. Our backs do a good job of catching the football. Our tight ends do a good job of catching it. And then obviously our receivers are. We got several guys that have done a really good job. So, and then they're young guys, most of them. So, it's great.
Dan looked like he's back to 100% in practice today. I don't know if he is, but he looks like it. I'm sorry. You don't have to record all that.
Yeah.
Redact that.
Yeah. He looked okay. Yeah. Looked like he. Yeah. He looked okay Saturday.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, he was fine.
I felt like the whole team elevated once he came in the ballgame. And you've been around. There's always a player like that on your team.
Yeah,
I think he's it.
And all of the fans and you as supporters of or as people who report on our team, that's really, really important. And there's only been a few guys I can think in my career that can rattle off when all of a sudden the team is a lot better because they're in the huddle.
Yep.
And everybody knows it. A guy like Mike Allstott, a guy like Drew Brees, a guy named Roosevelt Colvin, and when I was at Purdue. Here we've had, you name them, and Matt Brown, and Trey Roberson, we just Robinson, when those guys are in the huddle, our California Flash tailback, Marshawn Coppage, when those guys are in the huddle, okay, we got a chance now.
He does lift up the whole team.
It does, and I think we're healthier,
right?
So hopefully that'll help a little bit Saturday too. So we'll see.
This is your second 3-game winning streak of the season. How is this one different from your first 3-game win streak?
They're all great. This one, had to happen. We stubbed our toe in a home game, and it was very disappointing. I think our team took that to heart. They should. We don't take losing our own stadium very lightly. We don't like that. But we got beat by a really good player and a good team. But we usually find a way to win a game like that. We did not. I think that really bothered them, and they went on a roll here. And I think that whatever reason, it seems to have light a fire under us. And our team is, you know, our team is in a real good spot. I thought, I don't know, Mike, were you on the field at all in pregame? Our team is really excited to play Saturday, you know, and
And I need that there.
yeah, you got to bring your own juice sometimes on the road, you know, and they were really ready to play, and they should be really ready to play this week, you know, and it just seems like we're building on it every week, and you know, as I said before, everybody remembers the names the games in November, and it's you know, this is Illinois State football. This is what we do here. You know, we play meaningful games in November, and we're always either pushing for a championship or to get in the playoffs. So that's what we should be like that, and they should be excited, and they are. If we're not, we got the wrong guys. I don't think we got the right guys. We're a really good team, really good kids. So, anything else? Good. All right.
Good luck,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Yep. You bet. Thank you.